Hey there, I'm Rick. My friend Will had asked me some questions about jazz guitar chords specifically, and how they're used and what the shapes look like and that kind of thing. So I'm putting together this short 5 to 10 minute video just to talk about some things that may not be obvious. So I have this chart of jazz chords, which of course you can't read right now, but I'm going to try to attach it to this video. And so I'm just going to talk about a couple things on here real quick. The first chord on that chart is a major 7 chord, and on the guitar, that's the fingering. You can see it on the chart. And the whole trick here, that's a silly description. The practical usage of that is that I would pretty much never play this root note. Unless I were sitting by myself with a guitar, or if I was just playing with 2 guitars maybe and the other person were doing some soloing or whatever. In a band situation with a bass player or a keyboard player, there's no need to play the root note of the chord. So this is a G major 7, and that bass note is a G. And how would I play it then? I believe it or not, I'd probably do it like this. I'm really just playing like the inside 3 or 4 strings or whatever. There's some other voicings of that same chord, but I'm just using this as a basic example. So instead of this, you can hear the root note under there, I would just do this. And let the bass player or the keyboard player play that bass note. You stay out of their way. That's kind of the whole point. The more instruments you add, the less information you want to play. The band that I play in with Will is a 10-piece band, and so I play fairly small chord voicings. I never play 6-string bar chords in that scenario. So let's see, so that's a major 7 chord. That was the first one on here. What's the second thing? Is a dominant 7 chord. Usually that's just called like G7, for example. Nobody ever actually writes out the word dominant. So the traditional fingering is like that. You can hear it's got that cool kind of bluesy, jazzy sound. And once again, without the root note under it, I actually wouldn't finger it that way. I would play it this way. And what I'm doing is I'm barring at the 3rd fret and then adding on the B natural. And actually there's a couple of good reasons to do it that way, because it allows you to do some kind of cool slides and additional note stuff like oh, and that's another thing too. What I just did accidentally is I'm only playing 2 notes, and it's the essence of the G7 chord, and as long as a bass player or a keyboard player is playing the G under it somewhere, you get the sound or the essence of that chord. So there's a 3-note version of it. Here's a 4-note, and that has the G on the top. That's barred. I'll give you one other example because it's an important one, and then I'm going to stop, and if this is not enough, I'll do another video another time. So let's talk about minor 7. And the reason that I'm specifying this one is because it's a really interesting fingering on the guitar. Oh, and by the way, all 3 chords that I've talked about are chords where the root note is on the 6th string of the guitar. There are completely different fingerings for these same chords with the root on the 5th string of the guitar. I guess I should talk about that. I'll do that in a second real quick. So let's talk about G minor 7. One of my favorite chords. I just like the way it sounds. And basically what I'm doing, let me see if I can get in close enough. So you got a G on the bottom, and then my third finger is barring the fourth, third, and second strings at the third fret. So you get this. I think my guitar's out of tune. Close enough. Anyway, again, on a practical level, how would I play that in a band or a trio or a big band or whatever? I would not play the root note. I would just play those three strings, the fourth, third, and second strings. And again, there's a lot of cool little noodly guitaristic things you can do, like and all I'm doing is going back and forth between the third fret and the fifth fret. Cool stuff. Okay, let's talk real quick about the chords that have a fifth string root note. So I'm going to use the note C because it's also in the third fret. Here's C major 7, and I think I have it on my chart. Yep, I do. It's so it's got that pretty sweet major 7 sound, and again without the bass note, it's just this. You can also finger it this way. You can finger it this way. No, that was a joke, sorry. I like my own jokes. All right, two more chords real quick. C dominant 7. You can hear it's got that slightly more bluesy tone. It's got a flatted 7th in the middle of it. And without the bass note, you got this. Fingering. I don't know if it's hard to show that on the camera. Anyway, sorry. And then minor 7, here's the full bar chord minor 7, which never play that. People will laugh at you. Sorry, again, I like my own jokes. I usually would play that this way. Let's see if I can show you that fingering. That looks painful, doesn't it? Yeah, anyway. Okay, anyway, that's enough about really basic jazz chords. That's part 1, so I'm holding up one finger. Talk to you soon.